The movies that are limited releases rarely ever come to my movie theaters. And this year, we're getting a lot of them. I'm surprised we got this one too. We had actually got Love and Mercy, and now I get to review it. So Love and Mercy is a biopic about a Beach Boy member, Brian Wilson, who is also more of the songwriter as well for the Beach Boys. Now, Love and Mercy is one of those movies that has two different timelines. It keeps going back and forth from the past when he's super young and he's in the Beach Boys and creating music, and to the present when he's older and dealing with some very crazy mental issues. Now, I'm not a huge Beach Boy fan, and I don't really know much about them, and didn't know what he ended up going through. And it's pretty incredible and crazy, some of the things that happen in this movie. I'm here to tell you that you do not have to be a Beach Boys fan to like this movie, because it's not a musical, and while it's about the Beach Boys, it's mainly about this personal troubles that this guy had. And it's mainly about human beings rather than a band and music and stuff. So the past timeline deals with him trying to make a different type of music and the band members not liking it because it doesn't feel Beach Boy enough, and issues on his artistic values versus what sells. But in the present timeline, he's played by John Cusack, and he's dealing with this therapist that has got a watch on him for 24 hours, and he's trying to help him with his mental disorders, and there's something fishy going on. And the therapist is played by Paul Giamatti. But during this present timeline, he finds this woman and falls in love with her, and she's played by Elizabeth Banks. The biopic is tragic, it's interesting, it's artistic. There's plenty in this movie that many people will love. Unfortunately, there's just a few things that I personally didn't like about it, but I can't deny that this is a really good film, though. It's yet another movie where the acting is incredible, and the one who surprised me the most was Elizabeth Banks. She is incredible and probably the best actress in this movie, which is a little surprising, because I think the only things that I recognize her from is Pitch Perfect 1 and 2. And she's really good in this movie, I kid you not. John Cusack is great. He does a little bit of almost a Rain Man impersonation from some points, but at the same time it's unique enough and funny enough and clever enough that it's like, alright, I can push past that. He's really good in this movie. He's a very likable character. Paul Giamatti is surprisingly very intimidating and crazy in this movie. When he finally loses his temper, it's like, holy crap. And the person playing the young Brian is pretty good. His name's Paul Dano, and you might know him from a bunch of different films. He was one of the most famous ones that I remember is he was in Prisoners, and he's the guy that Hugh Jackman tortures at the end of the movie. And yeah, he's good in the movie too, but he's a little too quirky and sometimes a little too weird for my taste, and a little too over the top, but he does pretty good as well. I think there was a lot to love in Love and Mercy, but with that said, I did have some issues with the film, and that is I felt more interested in the present timeline rather than the past timeline. I felt more involved and more engaged when it came to Elizabeth Banks and John Cusack falling in love, and the therapist and having this complete control over him, and some of the crazy things that he might have planned for John Cusack's character. And that was more engaging, more interesting, more dramatic for me, while him being an artist and trying to make his way in life and starting to get this psychosis and that's happening with him, that it wasn't as interesting as this. So I felt there was more incredible scenes and more 5-star worthy scenes, to be honest, in the present timeline. Also, there was a few moments where it felt like it was just being artistic to be artistic. It's one of those films that has little moments here and there that, yeah, it's artistic, it's visually stunning, but then it goes on for too long to the point where you feel like, all right, just get on with the story. I know it's artistic, he's an artistic person, it's too much, just get to the story, just get to the story. There was a few moments like that in this film, and it made me a little uncomfortable because it's like, okay, just get on with the story. So yeah, I had a few issues with it, and some of those get on my nerves a little more than other issues that I have with other films. There's moments that I feel like it is worthy of a 4.5-star movie or even a 5-star movie, but I just can't do it because there's certain things that annoy me and certain things that get on my nerves that the Love and Mercy has. So I can see it being on some other people's top 10 list of 2015. I can easily see that. But for me, it is a 3.5 stars. It could have easily been a 4.5-star movie for me, or at least a 4, but it's more of a 3.5, just for my personal taste. So was your theater one of the lucky ones to get Love and Mercy, and have you seen it? If not, what is your favorite drama based off of a band of some sort? So like Jersey Boys or some other one. Speaking of which, Love and Mercy is way, way, way better than Jersey Boys, by far. As always, this is Bruce Gifford, and this was Just My Opinion.